The second focus of this rehabilitation program will be on neuromuscular control. The first exercise that will be implemented for restoring and refining neuromuscular control are what I call shoulder ball riding, which will now be illustrated along with its progression. So what I want you to do is I want you to stand with the ball in your hand, okay? And then what I want you to do is take your arm slightly out, and then I just want you to lift it straight out in front of you, okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to write the letters of the alphabet with the ball in your hand, just moving your shoulder. Perfect. So in this exercise, what we're getting here is we're really working on that shoulder out completely in space, getting used to it moving around. Now, for the progression of this exercise, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you close your eyes and then replicate the same motions of doing through the alphabet. Perfect. So here, the reason why this is a progression or makes it a little bit difficult, is we are taking away the oculomotor pathway, so his ability for the eyes to give him sensory information on exactly where that limb is in space. So now we're going to begin with the second exercise in neuromuscular control. And for this one, it's best if I show it through video, but the idea is that we're going to work that limb in space again, but this time more using a therapeutic band while having the patient lie on their back or supine. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get the camera in place, and then I'm going to explain in the video as I go through. So what I have here is I have the patient lying on their back. What I want them to now do is I want you to raise your right arm for me. So where it's comfortable. Okay, now I'm going to have you grab this there right there. So with this exercise, it's really important that even though the patient has their arm up, you wanted to make sure that they're still in a position where they're somewhat comfortable and not pain. It's okay to have a little soreness, but pain's a completely different ballgame. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through cycles, is what I call. So it's going to be where I work from like his feet all the way up to his head. We're going to work that whole shoulder motion, okay? So what I want you to do is just let your arm go with me in space, okay? So I'm going to keep the line on this kind of tight. Perfect. I want you to just hold on to it. Take you through different ranges of motion. So as I'm doing this, I'm keeping this TheraBand tight, really working on letting that shoulder move through that range of motion. At any point, if the patient has too much pain, they would just tell me, and I could regress it, go down a little bit, or we not go as high. So now, for the progression for this exercise, I'm going to have him close his eyes again. This again is working on cutting off the oculomotor pathway, so this time he has to really work on it as I'm going through space. So I can switch it up, I can keep going up, or I can come down, and really so his muscle doesn't get in the habit of me just doing it in routines. Perfect. So, in conclusion, I am going to talk about the reps and sets for this. So for the first one with the shoulder ball riding, I would do that 2 times a day, or unless there is like pain, then you would want to scale back on that. With this exercise that we just illustrated, I usually like to do like 2 sets of 3 cycles. However, it depends on what you as the clinician are getting and how the patient's receiving the treatment.